Welcome, everyone. This is Cigar Garage with Doc. Before I start, I just want to ask you to give me a thumbs up and subscribe, hit the bell, and do that for me and do that for all our brothers and sisters who have cigar videos and talk videos online, because they don't like putting things like this online, and all of that helps and keeps us going. I really appreciate it. Obviously, I don't have the best cameras or the best sound and things like that. But then again, I'm not actually out to make money on it, so what's it matter, right? Anyway, today this has become a follow-up video. I started a video, my last video, on the cigar I'm smoking, which is a Vega 5 Connecticut. It has a Ecuadorian Connecticut wrapper and Honduran and Nicaraguan fillers. Mostly Honduran filler and Nicaraguan mix. But it's a wonderful cigar. It's a beautiful cigar for the morning, and I am smoking it in the morning. And an update on it, because I started this actually on another video, but it's only getting better. It's as creamy as can be, leathery, peanutty, very, very earthy. If you like Connecticut's, this is really the flavor you're looking for. This is the first time I've ever smoked it. I was really wondering what it would taste like. It looked very good in pictures, the way they're made. They seem to be made beautifully, and they have this beautiful gold wrapper on it. But if I could see up close, look at that. It's like paper. It's a perfect wrapper, and done perfectly. I mean, look at the smoke. And it's not like a very loose drawer either, giving me a lot of smoke. It's a perfect drawer, and yet you get all that smoke, so it's a very good cigar. Well, the reason I'm actually doing this one is because my last video was a little controversial. I spoke about the Pope, and some people want to know what my credentials are. I did tell them there about my Catholic background, but my credentials are I'm an ordained minister. I have worked with the Catholic Church as an exorcist. And as an assistant exorcist and a full-fledged exorcist. Both the what they call the modern Catholic Church and the old Catholic Church, which still does the Mass in Latin. I worked with both, and I work with most Protestant churches or anybody who needs help. I was an assistant to Ed and Lorraine Warren, Ghost Hunters, very famous, and on many of the cases that you see in the movies. But another thing is that, as you see, this is Cigar Garage with Doc. Well, Doc is doctor, and it's Reverend Dr. Philip Murphy, and the THD. I have a doctorate in the religions of man. I've studied all religions, all modern religions, and I have CCJS after my name. I'm a certified clinical criminal justice specialist. I worked in prisons. I worked with gangs. I worked with the worst violent offenders. I've worked with victims, victimology, criminology, crime scene investigation. I taught Terry stops, car stops. I've taught. I was certified to teach, I should say, those things, and I was certified to teach police and patrol, and also two-man groups go into domestic violence situations. My background is a Marine veteran. I had a medical discharge from the Marine Corps. To tell you the truth, I didn't want to leave, but I had something occur that couldn't help. So I had a medical discharge I got an honorable discharge from the United States Marine Corps from their OCS program. I was heavyweight champion in the AAU, PAL, mid-hearts, and Golden Gloves. I have a winning record. I never lost a fight. I have won no decision. Just speaking about that, I just want to bring something up. If anybody out there is a boxing fan, three-time world champ Bobby Chez in New Jersey, and if you go online, you can find out how to do this. I don't have it to give you right now, but Bobby's fighting cancer, and Bobby was always a great guy, and I was one of his sparring partners and helped train him for and things like that at the time. I never did turn professional, but I did. I was in the ring with top 10 fighters of the world all over the place. In fact, I knocked one out one day because he tried to knock me out. That's another story. But anyway, I was a member of Lou Costello's gym back in Paterson, New Jersey. And so I'd done quite a bit. I was a baseball player, played semi-pro baseball, had some contracts, and I'll be very honest, I had an attitude problem with some things in high school, and the contracts didn't work out. Back then, if you had an attitude problem, they'd kick you right off. They wouldn't care how good you were. I led the league and even the state in some things, home runs, batting average. My batting average was always over 400. And they still did that. I think I struck out 3 times, maybe at the most in 1 year. I always hit the ball somewhere. So I have a varied background in sports, athletics. I'm also a teacher. I taught in high school, coached football. I coached with and learned from Dave Schuler. I coached his grandson, who is now coach with the Rams. A very excellent coach with the Rams, I should say. Very proud of him. Wonderful, wonderful kid, Chris. Chris Schuler is fantastic. I wish he'd come back and coach the Dolphins. But anyway, that's my background. I have a varied background. I have a background in a lot of things, so we could have a lot of discussions. But this is how I know about Catholicism and the Pope. I was brought up Catholic. In fact, I was brought up Irish Catholic. And that's like Italian Catholic, an Irish Catholic, a Spanish Catholic. And we all are very what they call black Catholics, okay? We're Catholic. We go to catechism, CCD class, Sunday school. We make all our sacraments. And we even get the last rites if we can before we die. So I know what I'm talking about. And there was a time I was going to become a priest. Way back in 1972, I was thinking of becoming a Franciscan priest. The only reason I didn't do it, and in fact, I went up there, I talked to them, I came very close, but the only reason I couldn't do it is because I love the ladies. I don't want to put it that way, but I just, I had a couple of girlfriends, and my one girlfriend in high school, we met in high school, is my wife today. My beautiful wife today, and God had other plans for me. But I'm very, very strong Christian, and I do teach. Okay, I had a prophetic ministry. I ministered in Mexico to giant crowds in Mexico. Ministered in Israel at the Wailing Wall. Ministered to some of the highest Hasidim in Israel. Was invited by them with another minister to go to Israel to talk to them about what we teach. And it was very underground because, they would get in trouble, even from the politics, politically. Well, I guess, and as far as the Jews are concerned, they really don't want to hear, a lot of them don't want to hear the gospel. But these leaders did. We were invited to the Wailing Wall. I was one of the first Gentiles to ever see the excavation under the temple. So I have a varied background, and that's why people ask me, what's your background to talk about these things? Well, I think I have a pretty good background to talk about these things. It's a lot more in my background too that I won't talk about, but again, that's another story. So back to the cigar, still going great. If you want to hear more about the Pope, look at my last video, and also look up Jonathan Cahn. Jonathan Cahn has a video out about the Pope. He is a Jewish believer who is the head of a church up in Wayne, New Jersey. And he's also in the prophets area. Excuse me. My ministry is a ministry of a prophet, as well as being an exorcist. And I've had that ministry for many, many, many years, since 1973, but active since 1981. I have some stories about how that happened and why that happened. You may want to ask, what's a prophetic ministry? Well, prophetic ministry is the ministry of a prophet. Basically, it's a sheepdog ministry, I call it, because the prophet always points the way to the leader. A prophet in the church points the way to the pastor, a prophet, or away from the pastor. A prophet in the church points the way to Jesus. He's the sheepdog that goes around the sheep, keeping them behind. That's what the Lord showed me. So you're going to be like a sheepdog. But that's another story. And if you put down in the comments that you want to hear more about that or anything I spoke about, please do. We'll talk about it. Remember, you're welcome to speak about your opinions. Just be nice, okay? Be nice, because I accept you just the way you are. And I agree to disagree. We can be friends. We can have a cigar together in the garage, and we can talk about these things. And if we can't, well, there may be something we need to think about ourselves. But at that point, God bless you. See you on the next video. And this is Doc. See you next time.